I would say the Common Core standards place more focus on real-world skills, like working with other people, thinking outside the box, and being more creative.
For me, I would describe the Common Core standards as something that is like glue. It helps to connect everything together in the curriculum.
Common Core standards, to me, represent a way for students to demonstrate their understanding of mathematics.
For me, Common Core is more of a benchmark for my students to see where I need to take them.
I would say keeping the focus on exploration rather than a right versus wrong.
The student is the center of learning. They are the ones who create their knowledge.
So the Common Core Initiative is a state-led effort to establish a clear set of standards across different states.
So how do we prepare students for this future? In order to collaborate with one another, in order to be innovative and have critical thinking, they have to have these skills because we don't know what the future will look like, and the Common Core is preparing them for this future, either in the university or in the workplace.
Our initiative to infuse 21st century learning into everything that we do aligns perfectly with the new Common Core effort.
Having students complete a project is way more beneficial for them because that's how the real world works.
So it was a lot richer experience because it's more like real life. This is what you do in the workplace. You work in a group, you have a PowerPoint presentation, you do something else, you share your knowledge, you compromise with people who sometimes are difficult to compromise with. And that's part of life.
Our curriculum revision effort is primarily teacher-led. We brought together some of our very best teachers in the district, K through 12, and they went through the whole process of unpacking the Common Core standards.
And within this curriculum are embedded all of the things that we expect to see in our classrooms as we move towards Common Core implementation and the implementation of 21st century learning.
The teacher has to be a curriculum expert. If you don't know your content and if you don't know your standards, you can't design those pathways because you don't know where the boundaries are, where to set the parameters. But if you know your content and you know your standards, then you know where to set those boundaries so that the children have choice within boundaries. And that's where creativity really lies. Creativity is not just do anything you want. It's creativity within parameters. And that's what people in real life in their professions have.
For my students, it's been a different experience also because I no longer let them get away with simply saying, this was my answer. Now it's, how do you know that your answer is correct? Is that the only answer? How did you get there? Was there a different way to get there? And so it's a little frustrating for them because they just want to know, did I get it right? Just tell me, did I get it right?
I've heard from a lot of people in the industry, in certain industries, we can't find anybody who's a problem solver. I don't know why. And we don't know how to train them to be problem solvers. It's a way you think. Well, we better do it in education because that is our job, is to train them to become problem solvers. I always tell my students, you're not here to learn what to think, you're here to learn how to think.
Why aren't students using the skills that they've learned in English class in their science class? Why aren't they using skills that they've learned in their English class, in their history class, or even their math class, right? Presenting, public speaking, these are skills that we learn in English, but at the same time, if you're giving a presentation in science or in a Spanish class, you want to make sure you have those same skills.
There's more of a merging of the curriculum and a deliberate attempt to connect the curriculum to something in the real world that's going to engage kids more in the learning process than they've done in the past.
So if we do all of that well, then we will help students be better able to master these new, more rigorous standards.
Always keep the end in mind. And so what is the ultimate goal? When students become adults, what do we want them to be able to do? What's the focus? So think outside the classroom, almost. Don't prepare students for that next test. Prepare them for the next 4 years.